often the harshest critic we have is inside our head. So how do we quieten it down? How do we turn down the volume and move on? I've spoken about reducing the amount of people you have in your life who are bringing in negative or not useful energy into your life, and how you should try and foreground the ones who are a bit more aspirational, a bit more positive, and background the ones who are less supportive or always trying to bring you down or kind of unburden their woes or complaining, basically. And I think it's really important to bear that in mind, at how we create that distance from people. But also what it can be the challenge is that the critics that surround us, the harshest ones, can be in our head, not necessarily as we surround ourselves. So what do we do when we are our own toughest or harshest critic? And the simple point that I can share with you is that it's not your voice. Someone put that critical voice in your head. Now this could be an authority figure, it could be a parent, or it could be someone from school, whoever it is. They've put that voice inside you. It's not your voice. Then the minute we begin to recognize that actually it's another voice, be it a parent's voice or a whole collection of other voices, that it's not your voice, that in fact it's another part of you, we begin to distance its authority from us. It doesn't have that kind of power. And I've had some amazing responses from people who've kind of said, thank you for sharing that quote. I think it's really connected with something I couldn't kind of explain to myself. So it's very true that the harshest critic we have that is inside our own head, but it's not our voice. It goes back to some things I do when I'm working with people in more of a hypnotherapy element, is where when people want certain change but aren't making it happen, there's a part that wants things to have happen, and there's a part that wants to keep things as they are. Once we recognize they are two parts and not the same person, we can then have a conversation. And in the same way that voice that's in your head is part of you, but it is not all of you. It's just something that's in there. And we can focus more on the part that wants to extend themselves, to grow, to inspire, to aspire to whatever they want. That part that is fighting a conflict with that critical voice. That's the part that we focus on. So once we recognize that the harshest critic in our voice isn't our voice, but it's someone else's, we begin to have a bit of distance on it, or a bit of awareness to think, okay, whose voice is it maybe? And it allows us some space to think about actually that we're still fighting to get to what we want, to our inspiration, to things that we're after, our goals. So take a moment and have a think about that. Wonder whether the voice that is critical in your head isn't actually yours, but somebody else's. So for today, I hope that's something to leave you with. It's quite bite-sized and small, but I think it's quite powerful to recognize. And I will catch you next time.